What's up, witches? Greetings and welcome to my shooting marathon. I am finally at the end of the itching territory. Today it is the itching of the goddess. I had a friend that was one of our standing jokes. And this really is a true unboxing because I just got this deck. I've had the book for a long time and didn't even know there was a deck until somebody mentioned it. One of my viewers mentioned it on another unboxing, and it's like, oh, holy shit. And I went and grabbed a copy. So this is Barbara Walker, The Itching of the Goddess. Actually, it's the Yi Jing, but who can resist that? Come on, you can't resist a straight line. Divination Kit. Barbara G. Walker. This is published by Fair Winds Press. At last, the authentic Yi Jing. That might just be a little bit arrogant, Barbara. The original Yi Jing was a goddess-based divination system. However, in the Confucian age, it was appropriated by the male-dominated culture of that era. Am I surprised hearing this from Barbara Walker? No, I am not. The author of the Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets, Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets. Okay, as a result, for centuries, devotees have been using an inauthentic divination tool that devalued the feminine. Well, I would agree about the devaluing the feminine because it's all about the superior man. And of course, the translations into English at the time it was being translated into a really patriarchal society, but China was pretty patriarchal as well. Now, thanks to the work of one of the premier feminine Mercury, minutes vigilance to Mercury. Thanks to the work of one of the premier feminist authors and researchers, the goddess-based sensibility has been restored to this most popular divination system. Walker reveals and celebrates an Yi Jing based in feminine spirituality and creativity. Pay homage to your inner goddess with this lavish kit. You can just sit here and listen to me trip all over my tongue today. Enjoy. This tool for personal growth and divination includes 64 Yi Jing cards that feature Walker's original art and a book that provides a comprehensive overview of the development of the Yi Jing and shows how you can use it in your daily life. Barbara G. Walker is the author of many books, including the Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets, the Book of Sacred Stones, Feminist Fairy Tales, ooh, I might have to get that one, the Barbara Walker Tarot Deck, and the Essential Handbook of Women's Spirituality and Ritual. Also published by Fair Winds Press. So, let's unveil. We got some whopping big cards. Uh-oh. Let me put these in the right order. And then we have a book. And a little liner that wants to come out to keep these in their place inside the box. Nice book. Divination Kit. The copyright on this is 1986. No shit. Okay, let's look at the cards. They're a handful for sure. Oh, I did them wrong there. So, unlike the other two decks, Yi Jing decks, we have the number of the hexagram, we have the name of the hexagram and the meaning of the hexagram, and a picture of it with each of the trigrams explained. So, in a nutshell, so you don't have to go back and look at those other Yi Jings, it is the book of changes, and it comes out of the Taoist system. And what we're talking about here, changing, is nature. So it looks at the yin and the yang of nature, the active and the receptive principles, and how one changes into the other constantly. And so we have 8 trigrams, 3 lines, and you get a choice of either a solid line or a broken line. The solid lines are yang and have an odd number, 3, and or the coins, the yang coins are 3. Anyway, solid lines are yang, odd number. Broken lines are yin, even number. When you consult the oracle in the traditional way, you either use yarrow sticks in a very laborious process, or you use coins, and the coins have yang on one side, yin on the other. The yins are worth 2, the yangs are worth 3. You can either get a 6, a 7, an 8, or a 9 when you throw those coins. The 6 and the 9, since they are triples, either all 3 yins or all 3 yangs, make strong lines. And you build up your hexagram from the bottom up. And it shows you, so each of these, the trigrams, there are 8 trigrams. There are 8 distinct combinations of solid and broken lines. And each one of those represents an element, like air, or sea, or fire, or thunder, or earth, breath, mountain. Okay? And when you build up from the bottom, the 6 lines, you build up from the bottom to the top. If you have a 6 or a 9, you mark those lines as strong with the symbol in the middle, either an X or an O, and that indicates that that line needs to turn into its opposite and give you a new hexagram. So, air over air. We got 64 of these to go through. Resolution, sea over air. Wealth, great possessions, fire over air. Power, greatness. Clouds, small, nurture. This is waiting, calculated in action. Energy, great nurture. So we had small nurture and great nurture. Interesting. Peace. Conduct, treading carefully. What do I see here? Oh, there's all kinds of things coming out the doors there. Wow. Joy, sea, lake, deeps. Estrangement, opposition. Subordination, the marriageable maiden. Now these are in a different order than the other ones. They're numbered differently. And from reading the beginning of her book, there were 2 different systems. And so this is different than the systems of the other decks I have. Restraint, limitation. How could I tell that? By the name and number of one of those hexagrams. Insight, inner truth, sincerity. Decline, loss, reduction. Approach, promotion. I mean, you can definitely see meanings in these images. Fellowship, community, friends, lovers, union. Revolution, uprising, renovation. Beauty, fire, intelligence. Abundance, the zenith. Her artwork is very interesting to me because there's something about it that's naive, that tells me not a trained artist. Does that matter? Not really. Family. Completion, equilibrium. That's wine spilled. It looks like elegance, grace. Darkening, injury, repression. Innocence, the unexpected. And I'm not going into these images deeply because, you know, I'm already thinking that it's the hexagrams we want to read and not the images. But we do have images to deal with here. So it's just like being lured in there, following adaptation accord. Gnawing, reform. Shock, thunder, thunder over thunder. Gain, benefit, difficulty. Wow, there's an image, huh? Nourishment, mouths, jaws. Return, repeating. Temptation, contact, sexual meeting. Excess, strain. Cauldron, sacrificial vessel. Endurance, continuance. Gentleness, breath, wind, spirit. You get these tree spirits. Well, source. Decay. Wow. Crucifixion and tomb and all that stuff. Ascending, advancement. Is the tree happy or are you? Conflict. Adversity, oppression, weariness. That's the Pythia. Sitting above that crack where the fumes came up and gave her visions. Incompletion before ending. Release. Dispersal, dissolution, scattering. Abyss, water, danger. Immaturity, ignorance, inexperience. Army, collective force. Retreat, withdrawal, yielding. Attraction, pleasure. Travel. Smallness, details. Development, progress, partnership. Trouble, obstacles, difficulty. Stillness, mountain, solitude, meditation. Modesty, moderation. Stagnation, standstill. Assembling, gathering. Progress. Repose, harmony. Contemplation. Unity, joining, coordination. Splitting, peeling off, deterioration. And then we have nature, earth, creation. All right. So let's go in, and the backs just say the Itching of the Goddess Divination Kit. Let's see what she says. So, Family of the Elements, the Fuxi arrangement, the Meanings of Divination, first octave, second octave. All right, so she divides these into 8 octaves. And an octave means an eighth, or it's got 8 pieces. Now let's look at, I want to see where she tells us how to, here she talks about the 2 different arrangements and why she picked the one she did. And I'm sure this is just a whole thing about why this was originally a feminine thing. The Meanings of Divination. Okay, so she does. The traditional method of consulting the I Ching is a rather complicated process of repeatedly sorting, arranging, and counting certain subdivisions of a group of 50 yarrow sticks in 3 separate stages over and over to determine each line of a basic hexagram, plus the changing lines to produce a second contrasting hexagram for additional illumination. Probably this method was invented by court diviners long ago in order to draw out the time required for a consultation, to impress the questioner with fancy manual flourishes and intricate manipulations, and to give themselves an air of great learning by which they were unable to master so complex a system in the first place. I gotta agree with that, because if you look at my first I Ching video, where I used the kit and I did like 1 line of the yarrow sticks, and they have them, you're separating things, and then you stick them between these 2 fingers, and then you do this thing, and then you take what's left over and stick them between these fingers, and then you do another thing and stick them between these fingers, and then you take all those and set them aside because they're not going to be used. So it's this very cumbersome manipulation of things that I kind of got to agree with her. These elegant manipulations of the yarrow sticks built up line by line a pair of hexagrams that would provide both individually and in combination a reply to any given query. This same purpose is more easily achieved by other methods, however. These other methods are given below because they're much simpler than yarrow stick numbering, need no special equipment, require no extensive practice, and yet yield the same results. So bravo for that. One of the simplest is the 3-coin method. Each time they show one of 4 possible arrangements: 3 heads, 3 tails, 2 heads and a tail, or 2 tails and a head. Each toss establishes 1 line. Here's how the coins determine them. So the heads are worth 3. The tails are worth 2. Where does she say this? All right, she doesn't give them numerical things. She just gives you a chart. 3 heads is a solid line. And the secondary hexagram will be a solid line too. No. No. Oh boy. All right. She's got this backwards, or I do on all of my fucking videos. Hold up here. The strong lines are the ones that change, not the weak ones. All right. In accordance of blah, blah, blah. That's the C.G. Jung thing. Let's get past this. I'm trying to see if I've been doing this wrong all the time, but I don't think I have. All right. The trigrams. These 8 images have manifold meanings. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. That's the trigrams. 8 at the top. Okay. 6 at the beginning. See, yes, it's the 6 and the 9 that change. So right away, I'm bummed. And yeah. 3 odd numbers, solid line, 3 even numbers, broken line. That's not the way it works, Barbara. You're wrong. Holy fucking shit. That makes me so sad. All right. Ancestors and allies, guides and guardians, help me. I guess it's a good thing that I'm doing these on a Mercury retro, a fresh retro, because they're just defying everything. They're terribly disappointing. And it's, you know, one of the things is the sort of the culturally appropriative thing, that we're taking this system and declaring it inauthentic and then doing our own Western-headed version of it. And I say that so judgmentally, not having read Barbara's whole treatise on it in the beginning here, and knowing who she is. She's definitely feminist and has really brought back a lot of our feminist history to us. But I'm feeling like going a little too far here, particularly when you've gotten something so fundamental wrong. Maybe it's the different system. Maybe this is the different system that she's using. I don't see that here. Wait a minute. The Fushi arrangement. Okay, I'm just going through if she talks about the coins. I mean, she didn't really describe it until she got to that part, so I'm not going to worry about it anymore. I'm just disappointed. All right. Do we do coins? You know what? I'm doing fucking coins. What do my viewers need to know in order to thrive? And there we go, shooting under the cauldron again. I swear to God, get me through this, Yi Jing, please. Just get me through it. 8. And there we have a strong yin. You know, I'm going to do it her way. It's wrong, but I'm going to do it her way. And we have another, what should be a strong line, but isn't. Then we have a yang line. And we have a yang line. And those are supposed to be changeable as well. And then we've got another yang line that's supposed to be changeable. So if we do it her way, we're going to end up with this. If we don't do it her way, we end up with strong, 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 broken, no, wait, strong, strong, broken. All right, that's what so we end up with the dead opposite if we do it our way. No. Oh, fuck. No, we go I'm confused. Okay. So, do we have a way to look this up quickly? Do we have a table of trigrams that will get us there quickly? Oh my God, look at this. Hexagram location chart. So we have them, but they don't say what. Oh my God, this is a mess. Barbara, I am so disappointed. Fuck everything. So I have to once again go back to my fucking book to look up these hexagrams. I am sorry for losing my temper. I'm so sorry. But I'm pissed. All right. At the top, that's Chen. At the bottom is Kun. Number 12. Which might be not the right one in this system. Now I'm really going to be pissed. Yeah, so it's not the right one. Number 12 is different in the system. So, Chen and Kun. Chen on top, Kun underneath. Now we go here. Chen on top, Kun underneath is 57 in this one. All right. We finally got something here. This hexagram is usually interpreted to mean that the forces of nature, yang and yin, are immobilized in their separate spheres. There's no intermingling or interchange to spark creative action. So this is stagnation and standstill. It's all solid lines at the top, all broken lines underneath, each separate, no intermingling, nothing's moving. When male and female are closed off from one another, they have no power to revitalize one another. I love this meaning. Air over earth may also refer to the original condition of stagnation when Father Heaven lay too closely on his consort Mother Earth and allowed no breath or movement to penetrate to their offspring. Their environment became stagnant. Apathy is a keynote of a time governed by this symbol. Attempts to influence others may meet with insurmountable difficulty. A motionless period is characterized by rejection, mistrust, and leaders out of touch with followers. Wow. An inertia so profound may threaten the basic processes of life. The standstill must be broken by some form of positive action. Well, I gotta say, this is hitting. Classic symbol of the need to mingle male and female principles for the sake of renewed creativity was the satyr god, representing various human animal consorts of the goddess. Destruction of the natural world at the hands of violent men would have been especially distressing to him. He was always a lover of the wild woodland, represented by Artemis or Diana, the fertile earth, Demeter or Ceres, and the pure waters, Aphrodite and Venus. So she's going with, Western gods for this, which is kind of a bummer too. Disdaining such manly pursuits as war, he simply made music at the inspiration of his muse. It was thought after the final war at the end of the world, he would be left alone, sadly playing the earth's funeral dirge in the darkness of ultimate light, waiting for the creation of a new earth. So we have stagnation. Male and female need to come together. Something needs to be done to shake some things loose. Positive action. Now it changes into all broken lines except for the one at the bottom. We could do it this way. We might actually get somewhere, because it's moving down. You see how maybe. Now we got two. Yeah, there's air over earth. That's the card. This is the one we just read. God, how fucking cumbersome can you be? So, any of these decks, it's just so hard to do the coin method. Oh my God. So there just isn't a way to do this that isn't fucking cumbersome, Barbara. There. Earth over Thunder. We finally found it. $32. Return, repeating. Apparently placed at the midpoint of the Fuxi arrangement, return signals the second half of the largest cycle, represented by the one solitary change in the whole arrangement of the bottom line, which changes from solid to broken between this hexagram and the next. Traditionally associated with this hexagram is a turnaround period of 7 days, since this is only one lunar quarter, not the megacycle suggested by the single change. Commentators may have meant that 7 days would be required for a proper reading. I don't know. Thunder within the earth suggests the ancient primal giants whose movements were thought to cause earthquakes and bring back primitive conditions. They're mentioned in the Bible as giants in the earth who lived before the flood. The I Ching's return also meant a new beginning slated to unfold in due time, inevitably without forcing or excessive energy. As spring follows winter at its own pace, so new developments must be allowed adequate time for their growth. Trying to hasten natural processes can only lead to ultimate frustration. So we have this stagnation here, and this one is saying things are going to start moving on their own, that they have to do it in an organic fashion. In a modern sense, giants thundering in the earth may be likened to the industrial civilization that gouges the mother planet with mines and tunnels, weighs her down with grimy concrete structures, blah, 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 blah. An idealized Queen of Heaven figure may rise behind the structures of contemporary life, though she may stand silent, cool, still, uncommunicative. She may draw the unspoken longings of men toward herself out of violent streets. I don't know. In the I Ching, she symbolizes the single turning point in the largest of all cycles, known to the ancients as the still point of the turning worlds. Only the return of the goddess may counteract the ugliness wrought by centuries of concentrated patriarchy, which may be associated with the yang line underlying all the other structures of the I Ching's first half. Henceforth, the underlying line is yin. Okay, so this is male and female separated that need to come together in order for things to be creative again. This is talking about the goddess coming back in order for things to change. The focus on the yin, the feminine, and her arising to bring forth change. So I like the message, but my God, getting there was a long road. And I have to say, I mean, if you're a fan of Barbara Walker, you're probably going to want this in your library. And I'm probably going to look at it and play with it a little bit more to just give it a fairer shake. But you can only do it with the cards because using the coins as the I Ching is supposed to is just too fucking difficult. And again, you're not going to find the fact that she gives you this table but does not show you each of the trigrams and what they look like. She explains them and lists them on here. Now she's complaining about the trigrams. Hold on. I'm at a loss, Barbara. I'm really at a loss. Okay, so here, air, but why can't we have these together? Air, Chen, Si, Tui. So what you'd have to do is look at each of your trigrams, come to page 7, find out what their names are here, and then look them up here. Honey, you're a hell of a scholar, but I think you got lost this time. I really think you got lost. I don't know. I don't know about this deck. All right. I'm glad that I have it in my collection rather than just the book. I'm glad that I've experienced this, but I think I prefer Barbara in her own context and not trying to remake the oldest divination system ever. I'm going to put these back in the deck and just keep them in their order because it's not worth shuffling and doing all that. So, I'm going to do some more shooting today probably because I've just got an icky taste in my mouth from these I Ching decks. I would say if you are interested in the Tao and Taoism, and if you are interested, if you have, past life heritage in this culture and you're interested in this divination system, go to the source. Use it the way it's supposed to be used. I would highly recommend this, The I Ching or Book of Changes by Wilhelm Baines. I talked about it in my first video. The translation is good. They translated out of Chinese and into probably German first, I can't remember. And then they had somebody translate it back, a different person translate it back to see how true the meaning was. And I've gotten a lot out of that book. I'm not getting so much out of these decks. So, thanks for hanging with me through all the frustration. I am glad this week is over with, because I got better decks to review. And I have more that's going to be way more entertaining for you. And I hope you're going to enjoy what's coming a lot more. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. If you like watching these daily unboxings, I'm over 200 decks now, and I keep getting gifts, so there's no end in sight, and that's a good thing. I'm going to start panicking when there is an end in sight, but I also have a lot of other things that I want to bring to you. So subscribe. Like this video if you do. Check down below. I have a Patreon, and you can join that Patreon to support my channel and the work that I'm doing here. And you can also join my Discord, and I hope to see you over there and having some conversations soon. As soon as I figure out what the fuck I'm doing over there. I'm going to need help. My loyal viewers, and while I'm still so small here, and I probably will stay so small, but my loyal viewers, come over. Feel free to help me out. Help an old lady out. I'm here every day for unboxings, and I'm here every Wednesday evening at 8:30 Eastern for live readings for the signs. I always like to connect with you, and I'm really glad that you show up every day to join me. I hope that you're staying safe. Till I see you tomorrow for another unboxing. Oh, you know what? You can also buy me a deck. Look down below. My Amazon wish list is down there. If you buy me a deck, I'll read for you from that deck on my unboxing video. Many people have done it so far. Join the club. All right. Stay safe. This is the Zen Witch. I'll see you tomorrow. Blessed be.